Hello, good morning. Happy birthday to the June 1st babies out there. We're going to connect here and see what message is coming up for the next 24 hours from whenever you happen to see this video. I'm setting the intention here for June 1st because that's when I'm posting it here, maybe a few hours before June 1st, depending on where you are in the world. But it might not be June 1st when you see it. So the next 24 hours, a message here for all the lovely people out there in YouTube land. And the card we have coming up is the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands is a card that used to really aggravate me when it came up because I wasn't sure what it meant, right? Some of you who pull cards for yourself, I'm sure there's sometimes you get frustrated like, what is this supposed to mean? And one of the meanings of this card can be like hold tight, right? Like there's something that you're working on, and maybe you feel like you're not getting a whole lot of support, or it may feel very challenging. But the Nine of Wands is saying just hold tight and keep doing what you're doing, and you will succeed. It's a card that says protect your work, stand your ground, keep doing what you're doing, and you'll be successful. But over the years, I've seen it to mean a few other things. There's more layers here. If your question is when, like if you're asking like when for something, Nine of Wands comes up to say you are so very close right now. Don't you dare give up, because if you gave up, you would be furious, right? Like the finish line is invisible, but if you were to see, like if it were to materialize and you could see it, and you gave up right before, you would be so mad because it's like it's right there, right? 10 is completion, you're at 9. There's no sense in going through 9 and then quitting when 10 is the finish line. So sometimes it comes up to say you're much closer to what you're working towards than you realize. The most common meaning that I have seen the Nine of Wands over the years reading for people, and as I've become more connected with my deck and the way that the messages come in through my readings, the most common thing here, Nine of Wands, a lot of the times comes up when an opportunity is coming in and you may be a little bit skeptical about it. You may even be a bit cynical, okay? Not just skeptical, you may be cynical because there have been a lot of disappointments in the past. And so you might be kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I should give this a chance. I don't know if I should put myself out there. I don't know if I should, trust in this opportunity. Keep in mind, this can be in any area of your life. It could be friendship, it could be dating, it could be career. There could be something presenting itself to you, and you're like, I don't know if I should give this a chance. And the Nine of Wands says, look, honey, this is not your first rodeo, okay? You have been around here. You've gone through a lot of stuff. Every single one of these wands here is representative of some terrible person who came up to this poor guy and picked a fight with him to try to beat him up, take away his vineyard, take away his stuff. And he was able to fend off, each attacker. He was able to, overcome them and take their wand, take their stick away, and put it in the ground behind him as like this little trophy. Every single one of these sticks here was someone who tried to take him down. He got hurt. He's got that bandage around his head. He's not without injury, but he's still alert and he's still standing. And every single one of those battles gave him experience, gave him strength, gave him tools. And so the Nine of Wands is like, this isn't your first rodeo. There's absolutely positively nothing new under the sun that anybody can come at you with. You've seen every lie, you've seen every manipulation, you've seen every dirty little trick in the book. And as long as you're staying alert and paying attention, you don't have to be scared to embrace new opportunities, because if you're staying alert, you're going to know if there's red flags and you're going to be able to nip something in the bud right away. So you don't have to be scared of giving something a chance. You don't have to be scared of trying something out, because you're going to be able to see if this is something favorable or not, right? But we don't know unless we try. And you can try without getting super invested, super pulled in, and then having your heart ripped out, right? A lot of this time, I see this usually come in when it's like personal things, emotional things, like maybe you're trying to find friends or you're trying to date. I usually see it. It's like a fear of letting in people. You might be afraid to let somebody in because you're like, oh my gosh, what if I get my heart ripped out again? And Nine of Wands is saying you don't have to be worried about getting your heart ripped out, because you're in control of yourself, you're in control of your emotions, and you go through the inspection period. And if everything checks out, okay, I can start to bond, I can start to connect, I can let that wall down, I can start feeling, I can form bonds and connections because everything checks out okay. You're not going to find yourself in a situation where you get pulled into like a 10-year karmic cycle again, because right? You know what to look out for. You know what all the little telltale signs are. You know what the red flags are. So there's no need to fear in giving something a chance. Does that mean that you're going to give something a chance and there's going to be no red flags? It's going to be different for different ones of you. Some of you may see red flags and you might say, oh, nope, nipping this in the bud right away. But that's going to feel very good to you, because you're going to say, oh, wow, okay, I can do that, right? I have the wisdom, I have the experience, I have the know-how, I have the street smarts, and that felt pretty good. I don't have to be so scared anymore. I don't have to be so fearful anymore. Other ones of you might give something a try and you might say, oh my gosh, finally, here it is, right? I've finally manifested what I was hoping for or praying for or looking for, or I finally have a really good person coming into my life, or really good people coming into my life. This is a general reading. It's not going to be the same exact thing for every single one of you. But what is the same for those of you who are coming to this reading is that you have the know-how. You have the know-how, and you're going to be able to make good decisions, and you're going to be able to trust in yourself to make good decisions and to see when something is good for you and when something isn't bad for you. We don't want to be so. Something came up in the Virgo love reading about like fear of commitment, right? And so there's two kinds of fear of commitment. There's the person that just jumps from person to person and they're just having a good old time, right? They're just living it up from person to person, and they have a fear of commitment. There's other people fear of commitment that it manifests in their life the other end of the spectrum, which is that they don't let in anybody at all. And so a lot of you, whether it's fear of commitment, fear of getting hurt, fear of being disappointed, fear of being abandoned, whatever it may have been, you've been on lockdown. You're not letting anything in. You're not letting anything in at all. And so the Nine of Wands is saying now you're coming to this time where you can start to let in. You can filter, right? You can examine. You can examine, you can filter, and you can decide when something is okay, I'm going to let this in, and okay, no, I'm going to pass. But I feel like a lot of you are coming out of like an emotional, personal lockdown. Like you've just had yourself on lockdown for so long, you haven't been letting anybody in. You haven't been letting anything in. And you're coming out of that thinking. You're coming out of, being that guarded. That's the vibe I'm getting here from the Nine of Wands. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign in the readings that are linked in the description. Those of you who haven't watched your weekly readings yet, or if you haven't watched the June love readings yet, those are posted. You may want to check those out. If you would like a private reading with me, there's a link in the description that will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Okay, so just be open, be open, be open, be open. That's all I can say. We don't know if we don't try. It's worth a shot, right? It's worth giving things a try, and just not losing your head in the process, staying alert, right? And that's gonna be the key to new things coming in. We're open, we're alert, we're paying attention, and along the way, there will be things we let in, there will be things we don't let in, but you don't know if you don't try. Okay? Thanks for checking out this reading. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a fabulous day, and we'll see you in tomorrow's message. Take care and be well.